technical issues that we are having. So without further ado, let me first introduce the speaker for our webinar session today, Dr. Adibah Muhammad Amin. So Dr. Adibah received her PhD from University Putra Malaysia. She is currently a senior lecturer at the Department of Land Management, Faculty of Agriculture, UPM. Her research interests include soil and plant nutrient management and use of isotope in agriculture. So without further ado, I would pass the floor to Dr. Adibah.
Assalamualaikum and good morning. Okay, thank you Dr. Fidaus for the kind introduction. Thank you all for making time attending my webinar entitled Limited Edition Land and Soil. So again, I apologize for the technical issues. So I hope all of you in very good health and already had your breakfast. This the outline of my presentation today. I start with introduction, followed by the function of soil and the soil evaluation. After that, we will continue on some issues on the soil and land. Last but not least, the way forward. Okay, what is land and what is soil? So land refers to the planet's surface that are not covered by water, not covered by seas, lakes, and also rivers. This land includes soils, vegetation, animals, rocks, and even buildings. So the soil is a component, one of the component in land. So the soil include the particle of rock. So rock, we have several types of rock, igneous rock, sedimentary rock, metamorphic rock, and also soil texture, sand, and clay, as well as the organic materials such as the plant residues and soil organism. Okay, the Malaysian population on the first quarter of 2021 is estimated at 32.75 million. So it increased by 0.4% as compared to the same period of 2020. So in 2040, Malaysian population is projected to be 41.5 million. So this increasing population growth will be increased in the food demand, thus the issue on food security. So to have enough food, we need to have adequate land to produce the food that we need. Besides other basic human needs such as shelter, which also require land. Land and soil are vital for natural resources, for they are greatly affect how most of our food is produced. But growing pressures on land and soil due to rapid industrialization, the increasing food demand and population growth have caused both of these resources to be increasingly degraded. Okay, soil have several functions, including regulate climate. So the carbon dioxide, which is one of the greenhouse gases, will be incorporated to the plant during the photosynthesis process. So once the plant die, the carbon will be stored or sequestered to the soil. So in a way, so this can help regulating the climate because of the sequestration of storage of the carbon. Soil also play a role in mitigating pollution and as well as managing waste. The domestic waste, so will be left on left on the landfill area, and one of the most important role of soil is as a medium for the plant growth. Soil is not is providing us food. So soil supply most of the nutrients that are needed for the plant to grow. Besides that, soil regulates water supplies and also play a role in purifying the water. Okay, the periodic table show almost all the elements that are essential derived from soil. Okay, the light brown box show elements that are essential for animals and plants. So plants take up nutrient via roots. So there are about 17 essential nutrients for plant that can be divided into macro and micronutrient. So without these 17 element, the plants cannot complete their life cycle, and they also will show symptom if they lack of the nutrient, and the symptoms can only be offset if the supply with the nutrient required, the particular nutrient. So the micronutrient, which is included the nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, and sulfur, means that macronutrient means that the plant need is a larger amount compared to the micronutrient. Okay, this is how important we need to conserve and preserve our soil, because it is where the life started. So our food of nutrient, so our source of nutrient for our food, which is plant, is started from the soil. However, the land is not being using to produce agriculture, crop, and livestock only. The competition on other land use are also demanding. For example, urbanization. Okay, the population distribution are high in town, so people migrate. People migrate to town to have a better job opportunity. For example, okay, that's increase the new township or the new needed township blooming for housing. And besides that, new plant will be open for the in the industry. So some land need to be maintained for plant with forest. So forest is a source of our fiber and timber. Besides, play a very important role as a water catchment. So land near the coastal area or mountain and hill area for the also used for the recreational and also tourism activity. Alright. Okay, one of the reason of the agriculture need to compete with industry for land is because the industry and service sector contribute bigger chunks of GDP or gross domestic production. The agriculture sector only contribute about 7% of the Malaysian GDP. So the arable and permanent cropland is about 34%, which in total about 7 million hectare. However, from this 7 million hectare, more than 5 million hectare is planted with industrial crop, so such as oil palm and rubber, and the other 1 million hectare for food crops. For example, the food crops such as rice, vegetables, and also fruits. So there are very little land that are for designated for the food crop production. Okay, the industrial crop production give higher return compared to food crop production. However, and not everything is dollar and cent. So if not all little farmers grows the food crop, okay, definitely we will have food crisis. So we have a shortage of food, for example. Besides other factor that contribute to the food crisis, but one of it, if the no or little farmers venture into the food crops. So we can always import our food, yes, but for the food security reason, we need to produce our own food. Okay, the truth is the cost for if we imported rice is much more cheaper compared to we grow in our country. But should we fully imported our rice? So what the status of our food security? Since rice is our staple food. Okay. This is map of Peninsular Malaysia. Okay, basically Peninsular Malaysia bigger than Singapore. However, Malaysia in the rank of food security ranking is behind Singapore. Yes, true. Singapore has a different approach to make sure they are self-sufficient on their food. If we look on this map, okay, in theory, we can produce our food higher than Singapore, given that because we have a larger area compared to Singapore. However, not all the land area are available or able to be used. Okay. Okay, this map shows the reserve forest distribution. Okay, total area is near to 5 million hectare. Okay, this area cannot be developed. So because the forest is vital for sustainability and biodiversity and others vital roles. So however, in some cases, there are no other better option to open new road line, for example, or for expressway. So the reserve forest area need to be open or to be used, but it must be replaced with other area. Okay, this the reserve forest. Okay, next you see, okay, the red color here show the area that are very steep slope, which about more than 30 degree. So about 2.5 million hectare. So basically the green and red area are not available to be used. So left not so much the white area color. So the white area color. So you can see it's matched to the blue color. The available land that can be used for agriculture production. Okay, these are the available land. So the blue color is the available land then that it can be used minus the hill land or higher land that are more 30 degrees and also minus the reserve forest. Okay, however, this area is to be used include the industrial and food crop, the industrial sector. So not only the food crop. So not only that, so we need to share this area with the township, urbanization, and also industry. So how much is left for our food crop production? Okay, mind you, not all area are suitable for all crops. So some are because we have different types of soil. So some soil needs more, for example, need submerged area like paddy. So some plants need more aerobic condition of soil and so on. So different plant need different soil condition or what take also for the nutrient availability and so on. So there are limitations in the area that may hinder the crop growth. So in this area, so the soil stability evaluation is needed to classify the soil to the suitable crop production. Okay, the soil stability evaluation help to interpret suitability of land for agriculture in Malaysia. So it determining land stabilities or limitation for specific users, or usually predicted using numerical and descriptive soil information provided by the soil survey. Okay, this interpretation are arranged into classes, which is 5 classes, or relative suitability or limitation for specific usage. Okay. The principles and criteria used are based on soil properties. The seriousness of a limitation is a function of the hindrance to the plant growth, and the suitability of soil for plant growth is good if many types of crops can be grown on that particular area. However, there are some assumptions in evaluating the soil suitability. So some of the assumption is we assume the management level is in a medium level management. So the limitation is only evaluate or calculate due to the crop growth, and we also observe the physical limitation. So the suitability class can be changed if there are some amendments being applied, and we do not take into account the distance from the area food production to the market and to the date of the evaluation. So we use the current knowledge, and the suitability is basically is a general, and we use diagromic data and other observation. However, climatic variation is not taken into consideration in during we do the soil suitability evaluation. Okay, there are class or level of limitation can be divided to 4. very serious, serious, moderate, and minor. So for very serious, it may hinder the use of the soil. So the use it cannot can be used. So for serious, it's not detrimental to all crops. Only sensitive crop are affected. For moderate level, it affects some sensitive crop only, and for minor level, it affect only certain crop. Okay, these are 10 limitation to evaluate the soil suitability. First is depth to acid sulfate layer. Second, depth to compact layer. And third, drainage. Fourth, irritability. Fifth, nutrient imbalance. Sixth, thickness of the organic layer. Seven, stoniness to the depth of until 1 meter. And eight, salinity. Also texture and structure. Last but not least, the human influence of or human disturbance. Okay, they are the class definition for the limitation. So they are, okay, we can see here the types of limitation and the classification to very serious, serious, moderate, and minor. So for example, the depth acid sulfate layer here, which is symbol A. So if very serious, it has 0 to 25 depth from the surface. So moderate below the below the depth 35 to 50 centimeter. So minor if the depth of two acid sulfate layer if more than 50 centimeter or 1 meter. Okay, and for others limitation. So these are the definition or the parameter. And continue on the thickness of the organic layer, salinity, stoniness, texture and structure, and also human influence. Okay, there are 5 classes of soil suitability. Okay, these guidelines in evaluating soil suitability classes are developed by Department of Agriculture. So class 1 refers to no limitation or minor limitation only. Class 2 for moderate and moderate limitation only. Class 3 has at least one serious limitation. So class 4 has more than one serious limitation. Class 5 has at least one very serious limitation. Okay, so we move on to issues on soil and land related to agriculture. So one of it is sea level rise. We also have issue on reduction of agricultural land for development purposes, issue on low soil fertility, highland farming, natural disaster, and last but not least, the crop conversion. Okay, climate change and global warming put Malaysia at risk of losing the coastal area because of the rising sea level. So in 2050, they predict about 9 Malaysian cities will be underwater because of this phenomena. Okay, mind you, we also have agricultural land that are including paddy area that are located at this lowland and will be affected if the by the rising sea level. Okay, this will lead to decreasing in production of rice. So if we lost the area, so we lost the plant, so thus we lost the yield. Okay, we also have issue on reduction of agricultural land due to development. Okay, in this news clip, so about 35,000 hectare of rice are lost to infrastructure, township, and also commercial development in past 10 years. So this cost reduction of about 350,000 ton per year, which costs 420 million ringgit Malaysia. So it's quite a great loss to country, and also for the we need the yield, the rice itself. So it's not only the money, the produce itself. Okay, this table show Malaysia rice production compared to other Asian countries. So as you can see, Malaysia has average rice yield of 4.2 ton per hectare. And for the SSL, so we about has the low self-sufficiency level about 69%. So compared to our neighbor country, for example, Thailand has self-sufficient 100%, Indonesia 99%, Philippines 90%, and Vietnam so also 100% of SSL. So that's why they can import their rice. So we are one the importer country of the rice from this country. Okay. Our population basically is very low compared to other country, and our needs per capita per year also because we have low population, so the need is also quite low. Okay, our yield average is not so low, but the planted area that we have compared to other country is very low. Okay, so not even 1 million hectare for the rice production area. Okay, okay, so Vietnam has about 33 million hectare, Indonesia 10 hectare, Thailand 9 hectare, Philippines 5.6 hectare. Okay, if our production stagnant or retained at the 4.2 ton per hectare, the yield. So to achieve the SSL from 69 to 80%, so we need about 800,000 planted area. But to increase to 90% SSL, we need about 900,000 hectare planted area to for paddy. So if we cannot increase our productivity, rice production, so we need to increase our land area. Okay, recently, okay, on the issue of sea reclamation, so there's issue on the sea reclamation in Muar Johor. So they plan to develop energy hub and deep sea port in the 3 man-made island. So the planned area include near Sungai Balang area. So Sungai Balang is basically is a non-granary paddy field. So this project will, to a degree, might affect the rice production in this area, as the water source for irrigation might be affected. Besides that, there are some fishermen that could be affected by this sea reclamation. We are okay. We are hunger for development. Yes. So we I think most of us want the development, the musician. So we are hunger for development. But to what extent we need to sacrifice our resource for food production, because food is our basic need also. Okay. Okay, we also have issue on the low soil fertility. Okay, a healthy soil basically is important in ensuring the good plant growth. So the microbes need favorable soil condition with suitable pH, suitable moisture, and so on. So these beneficial microbes play a vital role in the nutrient cycle. Our soil, on the other hand, in general has low pH, low soil pH, which is acidic soil, and also low soil fertility. So low soil fertility will translate in the end to a low yield if we cannot manage it to next greater level. Okay, so we know that the soil pH influence the soil availability. So at the figure there, so you can see at slightly low pH, most micronutrients are available. In contrast, in the slightly alkaline pH, most micronutrients are available. So besides that, our soil is considered highly weighted and has low CEC. So our highly weighted tropical soil pH usually between 4.5 and to 5. So we have severe issue on the macronutrient. So that's why we need big amount also of fertilizer. That's why the cost of management production so usually goes to the fertilizer application. Okay, so in Malaysia, so that's why we have issues on nutrient imbalance and also low soil fertility. And to overcome this problem, one of the approach is to correct the soil pH. So this is a basic first thing that we need to do. So correct the soil pH with liming. So the organic matter application also, if we can give a soil amendments, also could help on this matter. Okay. Okay, issue on highland farming. So highland farming, so it's low temperature is suitable for most of vegetables farming. However, land clearing for the steep area more than 30 degrees is not permissible. So the Cameron Highland has issue on overuse of land and also the illegal farm. And okay, when it's illegal and the explore of the steep land with the steep degree of area, so erosion and landslide are not new issue lah in Canberra Highland. So even okay, I think last month I think, or last month I think. So even my recent trip to Canberra Highland, so there are road closure because of the small landslide. Fortunately, only one slide. Also, fortunately, one side of road can be used, so it's not total road closure. So there are cases no vehicle can pass by in more severe incident. Okay, the soil conservation activity and sustainable agriculture, so must be practiced at all time in the high risk area. For example, in the highland area, which is a very prone to erosion, for example. Okay, natural disaster also one of the issue related to soil and land. So, for example, the drought, so it's also a threat to soil. So, in a longer dry spell, it will lead to a soil cracking. So, you can see in the picture the soil is cracking. So, in the long run, it can destroy the soil structure, and the next planting season, the crop growth may be still affected, and the yield might be still lower. So, it need to be get a better practice to make sure the yield is increasing or at par before the problem. Alright. Okay, last but not least, the crop conversion. Okay. Okay. In this news clip, okay, Kedah state government has asked the federal to legalize ketum to be planted in their state in order to be exported to Thailand. So it's not for the local use, but for imported to Thailand. So the paddy and rubber farmers are very eager to see this news come true. Okay, this is one of the issue on the crop conversion. Okay, usually the reason why the farmers want to change the crop because of usually they will convert from low return plant to the higher return one. So that's why we need so other things that we can do if we need farmers to retain, for example, their rice field. Maybe we can give some incentive and also subsidy to make sure they still get the profit margin is quite profitable for their daily day, okay, daily day use for their income. Okay. Okay, the way forward, how we can maximize or optimize the resources in the case land and also soil. Okay, it's either we increase the productivity or we increase the land area. Okay, if we want to go for productivity, what we can do? So basically we can practice the sustainable and precision agriculture. So precision agriculture, so including the use of sensor. So we put fertilizer where it's needed, and for sustainable agriculture, so we can adopt the 4R principle in fertilizer management, which is we give the nutrient at the right time, right source, right place, and also right rate. Besides, we can also do the soil conservation to ensure the quality and health of the soil. For example, of the soil conservation, we can do the crop rotation. So we can rotate the heavy usage of nutrient plant heavy use that use very heavy usage of nutrient. So with the, for example, with the legume crop and so on. So we can reduce tillage. We can apply mulching, cover crop, and also cross slop farming. Okay, the technology development in the agriculture also is very vast. So it can be used nowadays, but not all are available. Not still is in the development stage or in the some of it are ready, but some is in development stage. For example, include the AI, artificial intelligence, the IoT, and software application, and also drone. Okay, for example, the Department of Agriculture has develop an apps called AgriMatch. So this application help farmers in farm practice decisions such as when to put the fertilizer and how much to irrigate the plants. Drone will help in fertilization and pesticide application, such being used in Sekinjan paddy area. Okay, thus this will reduce the farmers' burden also. Okay, some drones has different usage. So some drones are being used to take aerial picture of the land, and from there, the farmers can identify where parts in the farm did not get enough nutrient, for example, nitrogen. If there are lack of nitrogen, so it will show symptoms. So it will has a chlorosis, so it will has a lighter green color or near to yellowish. So second, okay, if we go for productivity, so if we go for area, so second we need to consider about the area. So in Malaysia, we have a limited amount of land for agriculture area. So if we want to increase the yield, we need to open new agriculture land area. But it is quite impossible because we have competitors from other sectors. I think like I showed like before, the competition from others land usage. So by hook or by crook, we need to retain what we have now, what land that we have now, the agriculture land that we have today, or else the self-sufficient level will be decreased and it can lead to the serious food crisis like certain countries. So to wrap up, so in conclusion, the sustainable soil and crop productivity requires good understanding on how soil physical, chemical, and biological properties interact to maintain the soil quality. Besides, the land area also plays important part in the food production. If we don't have enough area for food crop production, we cannot produce enough stock for our citizen. So not only that, we also cannot export our production, and it will cause loss to the Malaysia itself, as Malaysia is one of the export country in some commodity. Okay, with that, I think I end my sharing session for today. Okay, any question?
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Adibah, for the sharing session. So, are there any questions from the floor? Okay, so we have one question here. Suggestion to conserve food.
Oh, is it okay line? I think you freeze just now, Dr. Fidaus. Okay, what is suggestion to conserve our soil yet increase our self-sufficient level on food? Okay. One of the way is to do the crop rotation, like I said before. So we can rotate our plant with leguminous plant, and then with the root plant, and also vegetables. And so we need the rotation can be in the food crop plant. So besides we do the mulching, so we can conserve the soil moisture at the same time. So, and we can put organic matter. So organic matter can help promote the soil health, and also the microbial population will increase. So the nutrient cycle in the soil will be have a efficient or better nutrient cycle. So with that, I think the production or yield can be increased, and thus the SSL on food crops are increasing as well. Okay, I hope I answer the question. Thank you, Dr.
Okay.
Christopher.
Okay, any more questions from the audience? Do you have any more questions on our Facebook page? Okay, questions going once, going twice. So I think that's all the time we have today. So thank you again, Dr. Adibah, for the sharing session this morning, and thank you for those of you who made the time to join us on this Saturday morning. Hopefully, we'll see each other again in the next webinar session hosted by the Department of Land Management in the next webinar community series. Okay, with that, thank you very much and hope to see you in our next webinar session. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you all.